They are living out what Paul said in Philippians 2. I will be a servant. I will bow down in humility. And when that happens, the power of Christ and the power of the Spirit is here with us. In a like way, when the young people come into the church, what a joy it is that they are our family. And I was so thrilled at the last communion service that we allowed the teenagers to serve communion. That highest privilege, that highest office that we have given to the youth of the church. Again, our way of bowing down to them and saying, you are the church. You are our leaders. And our name is not Saul the mighty. Our name is Paul, the humble servant. The legacy will ensure that we can continue to serve the children and the teens in that way. The next group we need to care for in humility are our senior citizens. And there are so many members of St. Andrew's who, because of age or sickness, can't be here, but I know that they are with us in the TV audience, and we need to continue to embrace those people because they have given us this church. They have spent their lifetimes serving this church. And if I have one regret in my 1.5 years of ministry here, it is that the workload has not allowed me to care for our seniors and shut-ins as we ought to have done. I'm thrilled that Janice Emmeline is here to help in that ministry. And I pray that all of our ministries to our seniors can be strengthened so they will never be forgotten. I spoke with one of our seniors just in the last week, and she said to me, you know, when you get to a certain age, no one notices you anymore. She was right. We live in a society that honors and worships youth, and that's wrong. We need to strengthen this church so that we can always provide good and thorough and loving ministry to the seniors who have been faithful members here and now cannot be with us in the flesh. The last part of the legacy fund, and the strangest part, is that it will be used for the maintenance of these buildings. And there would have been a time when I would have said, building maintenance and restoration really isn't that important. But at St. Andrew's it is, because of what this building is. It is not just a church for religious people. It is a place in the center of this community where the doors are opened at 8:30 every morning and are still open at 10 o'clock every night. And anyone who wants to come here, any group who wishes to use our facilities, is welcome to do so. There are always people in this wonderful building. Other churches would have said, we can't offer that sort of use of our building. Think of the wear and tear. Think of the costs of heating and of lighting. But we have said, open up the building. Let the community use it. Let them come and see that they are in Christ's presence here. And as a result of that, the building is worn down. It's worn down by use. It is worn down by love. It is worn down by the hundreds of people who enjoy this facility on a weekly basis. Our way of saying to the community, Christ loves you. Our way of being like the Apostle Paul and bowing down as a servant and saying, come in, we welcome you. One of the strangest things that I've ever seen happen in a church happened with this building last year at the beginning of the winter before the Out of the Cold program started. we came to the strange realization that there was a group of homeless people living in the church vestibule. A little bit embarrassing. And I think in any other church, the people would have said, we can't have this. This is St. Andrew's Church, one of the biggest Presbyterian churches in Canada. We have status and reputation. But we decided that if those people were homeless, and if they were cold, and if there was no other place, we would let them stay there until we could find them a spot in the Out of the Cold program. A minister friend of mine came to see me during that period, and when they came into my office, they said, Mark, do you realize you have homeless people living in the vestibule of your church? And I said, yes. And they said, aren't you embarrassed? And I said, no. I give thanks and praise to God that the heart of St. Andrew's is such that they are willing to let those people stay. And we don't care if it looks bad, and we don't care if we are embarrassed. This is God's building. And if we can help someone with it, we will. We have always done that. Saul changed his name to Paul because it was his way of going from powerful and mighty to becoming a weak and humble servant. That's how we imitate Christ. We look for the people whom we can help, and we help. We want to help children and young people to know Christ. We want to help all of our seniors to be loved. We want this building to be like a comfortable old pair of shoes that anyone can step into. In doing that, we also shall be servants, like Christ, imitating him, at least in one little way. For his name's sake,